Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today we're jumping right into another episode of Road to Ranked. In the last episode, we used this really interesting Regidrago weakness policy team, so we'll be playing a couple more games with it today. First match of the day, and this actually might be a decent Thundurus match, now that I look at it. Can we get a nasty plot off? Primarina is pretty interesting on my opponent's comp. Thinking Incineroar, Thundurus, Ninetales, and then Urshifu. Regidrago is, like, not bad here. I think the Metagross on the opposing side is going to cause some issues for us, unfortunately. We don't have Babiri on Comfy either. Max Incin's actually maybe an answer against Metagross. Okay, I'm thinking Thundurus plus Incin, and then Ninetales Urshifu in the back. But this is pretty scary in my opinion because our Pokemon are just weaker than theirs. And so, yeah, it's going to rely on a bunch going right for us to win this match. Either way, details for the team are in the description below. Had a really fun episode, especially with that Regidrago in the last episode. So if you haven't seen that, highly recommend it. Thanks so much as always for watching. If you enjoy, please share your support by leaving a like. I really appreciate it. And question of the day, I want to know what your favorite Mon to use in Series 9 has been. Let me know in the comment section below. I don't know what my answer to this would be. Registeel was one that I thought was actually really, really cool. And so that would be one of my answers. Okay, they go Primarina plus Whimsicott. I mean, Thundurus is like, if you don't know this team, Thundurus is so strong here, right? I almost want to just Nasty Plot. I mean, I can't KO Whimsicott turn 1. Yeah, like, I kind of want to just go for a Nasty Plot turn 1. Fake out into Whimsicott. That breaks a potential Sash. Whimsicott switches out, okay. Into Metagross, that makes sense. Question is, what does Primarina do? Okay, they protect. Wow, this is a really good turn 1 for us then, because they don't even get Tailwind up in the end. Nice, okay. So we get a free Nasty Plot off, which is fantastic for us. That switch in makes a lot of sense, right? If you're expecting like classic AV Thundurus, you could just switch in into a Max Airstream, and then while your Primarina doesn't take any damage. So that makes this next turn really interesting. I almost want to just go for Max Lightning onto the Metagross and a Flare Blitz onto it. Because like I don't really care about Primarina too much right now, and Primarina obviously should feel threatened by the Thundurus, and could even switch out into Landorus. And if, like, Metagross maxes and we just, like, you know, double target it for a KO, that'd be fantastic for us. So turn 1 worked out really, really well. I'm going to guess my opponent did not have Protect on Whimsicott, because if you had Protect, you could at least bypass the Fake Out turn 1 and then go into Tailwind turn 2. Now it's tough for my opponent. Yep, there's the Primarina switch out. Is it Landorus? Yeah. I don't know. I could have switched out the Incineroar into Ninetales there and gone for the Max Hailstorm on that switch in, but I don't regret that too much. Because the main thing is that my opponent doesn't have Tailwind to play with right now, so that's actually super, super good for us. Yeah. And the nice thing is, obviously, we have Max Hailstorm to just obliterate the... Oh, but I guess the problem... The problem is if I KO Metagross... Ideally, Metagross protects here. That would be the best case scenario, because then I can just switch out and Hailstorm Lando next turn. Oh, they're going to max. Okay, actually, that works for me, too. The one thing I didn't want to do is see my opponent's Metagross just go for an attack. I KO it. My opponent gets a free switch in, brings out Whimsicott, Tailwinds, and then you can Rock Fall into Thundurus. And the reason why that's problematic is because even if I switch in Ninetales, yes, I set up the Hail, but then Rock Fall just instantly changes it into Sandstorm after it goes off. Okay, so here's a +2, Max Lightning, Life 4 boosted. Does not KO the Metagross. We are intimidated on Incineroar, so I'm not sure if Flare Blitz will get the KO here, but... I think this is admin Incineroar if I remember correctly, so it does have a little bit of attack investment. Okay, they go for Max Quick. Yeah, that's fine by me, actually. I don't even know if this KOs Incineroar. It does get the one shot. Okay, so that's nice for my opponent. I mean, I could have switched Incineroar out there, but that didn't feel super good to me. What do we do now? Urshifu or Ninetales? I think it's Urshifu first, right? Well, if I bring out Ninetales, actually, you can safely switch out. You'd have to sacrifice Landorus. Okay, the other question is, does my opponent's Metagross outspeed us? 179. Probably, right? But I don't know if it outspeeds Scarf Urshifu. Ninetales or Urshifu in this position? I think I'm gonna go into Urshifu because we have the Choice Scarf, so I'm thinking we outspeed Metagross even with Tailwind up. So if you're my opponent right now, you basically have to max guard Metagross, sacrifice Landorus, right? Which is fine with me. We still just go for Max Lightning in case they get greedy and don't go for a max guard for some reason. Like if they're AV, although I don't think they're AV based off how much our Max Lightning did into it. But yeah, so I'm just not 100% sure on whether or not Scarf Urshifu outspeeds Metagross at... Ooh, okay, they just hard switch. I could have doubled up onto the Metagross slot then. Yeah, I should have done that. Because Metagross is going to max guard here, right? Oh, wait, it's not. Wow, okay. Maybe it is a Sylvest then. I don't know. I don't know my Life or Max Lightning calcs from Thundurus at all. But, I mean, this is fantastic for us, obviously. Okay... Especially because this means we have one more turn of Max to play with on Thundurus. So great job by Nasty Plot Thundurus to start off this match. Yep, that's another knockout. So that's good. You know, they did have that special defense boost, but we already did so much with that initial burst of damage. So I think Nasty Plot Thundurus on this team is definitely hard to utilize just because like there's no redirection user. So you have to find like very specific, you know, leads when your opponent like doesn't have too much to counter, or you do what you do in this game, or like what happened in game 4 of yesterday's episode, where you basically deter your opponent from like you apply enough pressure with what would seem like would be a regular like offensive Thundurus, right? Okay, so Primarina comes in. We're at +2 special attack. Max Lightning into this slot is pretty obvious. I think I want to just go for the Max Hailstorm, predicting them to switch out into Landorus. I guess Whimsicott's always a free knockout, right? Actually. Okay, I'm down. I think I'm down to go for Strike onto Whimsicott here and switch out into Ninetales. The other question is how fast my opponent's Primarina is in this game. I mean, I wanted to target Primarina here, but the thing is, if it's 2v3, I think we have the advantage. Or three Pokemon on our side, 2 on my opponent's side. They can't change the weather unless they have Sunny Day on Whimsicott. Yeah, there's the switch, okay. I mean, I could have hard won the game, I think, if I just read into that and targeted, but I think this is still fine, right? Because this was always a guaranteed play onto Whimsicott, and I thought, like, the bait was a little bit too obvious there, where I could have seen my opponent attacking with Primarina. But I'm happy with the switch regardless, because you have to Tailwind here, right? Oh, they don't Tailwind. Okay, well, then this definitely wins us the game. Unless you're Scarf Landorus. Actually, it's probably Scarf Lando, right? If it's Scarf Landorus... Well, we'll see who's faster based off hail damage here. So if we're faster with Thundurus, game's just over. But I'm thinking it's Choice Scarf Landorus here. Oh no, we're faster. Okay, great. Yeah, that should win us the game then. Because Ninetales is going to outspeed the Lando. So we can just Thunderbolt into Primarina Blizzard here. So yeah, this was like the best game for Nasty Plot Thundurus, honestly. So glad to feature what this component of the team can do, because yesterday we obviously focused a lot more on the Regidrago. But Nasty Plot Thundurus was incredible in Game 4 yesterday, and incredible for us to start off this episode as well. So I'm just going to go for... Is there any reason to not Thunderbolt here and just Blizzard here? Let's say Primarina protects, Landorus Rock Slide, like survives. I don't think it's going to survive a Blizzard, right? And even then, would it really double KO? Don't think so. Nice, okay, and Landorus protects. Well, I don't know. We are really weak to Rock Slide here with both Pokemon, so maybe it shouldn't be super surprising if it did double KO. But, yep, beautiful. Thunderbolt's just going to pick up the KO there. You know, I wanted to get fancy and go for, like, Weather Ball, but, like, we could actually easily throw the game if, the, you know, we can't KO Primarina with a Freeze Dry, and then, you know, Hyper Voice could just potentially pick up double KO in that position. So, no reason to risk it there, especially with that Nasty Plot boost, you know. Nice. I thought they were going to be AV Landorus. Was it AV Metagross then? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know my offensive Thundurus calcs super well in this format, just because, like, +2 Thundurus is something you basically never really see. Nice, and we get the Weather Ball to finish things off. So, I mean, this was just the best Thundurus game possible, right? It picked up literally every single knockout. And just with Thunderbolt and Weather Ball, it's enough offense after a nasty plot boost. So yeah, I mean, it was really huge. My opponent didn't bring in that Rotom-H. Rotom-H was pretty good into the Thundurus Thundurus Ninetales duel that I had. But obviously, I have Regidrago on my opponent's team, and if you're my opponent, you obviously want to counter the Regidrago and not be super weak to it. And Rotom-H can't do anything into Regidrago, so it makes sense, you know, why my opponent chose the Pokemon that they did. But that was basically the best demonstration of how good Nasty Plot, Weather Ball, Life Orb, Thundurus can be. So super happy about that. Let's look for our next game here. All right, getting into this one. Okay. This like reminds me of one of the teams from Japanese Nationals, but that one had a Kangaskhan over Snorlax. I don't remember if the rest of the Pokemon were the same though, but either way, it's Entei, Grimm, Metagross, Moltres, Kartana, and Snorlax. I almost want to play towards Thundurus again here. It's just mainly the Metagross, right? Metagross is not easy for us. Oh, we do have Foul Play on Ninetales, which is actually really essential in dealing with the Metagross as well. So I'm thinking we go Incineroar plus Thundurus. Ninetales in the back, and then Urshifu again. Yeah, it's not a great day for Regidrago here. I mean, Drago's not bad, but the problem is it just can't hit Metagross at all. I mean, at best, you can max Lightning. That's basically it. The problem is that, like, we really need max moves to deal with max Metagross, right? And max moves from Regidrago aren't cutting it, so, yeah. I think the 4 Pokemon we're bringing here gives us the best shot, but I do remember reading the creator's team report and saying they pointed out that Metagross is not, like, the best Pokemon to go up against. So you do have to get like a little bit clever in the approach. It's not just like a, you know, easy matchup specifically. So it's going to be Grimm and Entei, I think. Okay. I mean, this is where Comfy Drago could have been decent, right? I could have just gone Draining Kiss KO, but like, oh, you know, the problem here is that I can't go for Fake Out onto Entei. This isn't great. I might have to just max Thundurus, honestly. If I'm my opponent, I'd probably go Sacred Fire onto Thundurus this turn. They also could maybe max. The other question is whether or not Fake Out Max Lightning KOs Grimmsnarl turn 1. It might not. I could also switch out into Urshifu, but then I just risk a burn immediately, which is really scary. Yeah, I would Sacred Fire Thundurus in this position. This doesn't feel great. I really wanted to get a Nasty Plot off here, but I think I have to go for Max Lightning turn 1. There's just so much that can go wrong if I don't. So I got outled here. Like, Comfy plus Regidrago would have been pretty solid into this, but once again, I don't regret like not bringing that, because imagine my opponent goes like Grimmsnarl or Metagross, like we kind of just lose on turn 1. So like, I still have outs, right? But the Entei lead was quite nice on my opponent's end here. So yeah, kudos to them. Okay, so they're not gonna max Entei. Yeah, which is fine. I was just nervous if I like didn't. Okay, that was actually pretty good damage from Fake Out. So I'm thinking Max Lightning should KO. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't. That's really bad. I'm assuming Entei went Sacred Fire into Thundurus. I don't know. Maybe I could have greeted a Nasty Plot. Yeah, it was Sacred Fire. Oh yeah, that's a 2-hit KO, and so it would have KO'd us if. Wow, that did so much. Man, that's not good. I think I'm gonna go Darkest Lariat here and Max Guard, so then I can Max Lightning Entei, and then this is just, yeah. I needed to KO Grimmsnarl to prevent screens. They're probably more specially invested. Oh, Scary Face. Okay, that's a very nice play. I almost think I have to switch Thundurus out then. Such a really good damage from Lariat. I just like, who do I switch into? Because I still have to deal with my opponent's Metagross, right? They're gonna have Metagross in the back. They did a really smart job not leading it here. I think it's to go out into Ninetales here. Okay, I'm gonna Lariat into Entei and then switch out into Ninetales here. I guess I could also contemplate the double protect in this position, but nah. This is why I couldn't like just Nasty Plot turn 1 though, right? If I went for Nasty Plot, Thundurus would have just insta-fainted on turn 1. They didn't really have a great switch out option either, so yeah. Really curious in the Grimmsnarl spread here. It's probably like very specially invested, not as much defensively invested. Yeah, so they're just gonna go for Scary Face again. That's fine. Sacred Fire could miss. Single miss here would actually be really huge. They're gonna connect. See if they get another burn on this too. That'd be bad. Okay, hang on from Sash. 2 for 2 on burns. Okay. That will probably lose us the game then, I think. It's gonna be pretty difficult to win from this position. I needed to survive with the Sash, I think. So a little bit unfortunate, but obviously your chances of burning with Sacred Fire are as good as it gets for like a secondary chance in Pokemon. Okay. Still not over, so I'm not going to give up, but like I did not get enough mileage out of my Dynamax in this game. So, I don't know, against this lead, like Comfy plus Regidrago would have worked, but then it's like they probably just have Metagross in the back. And like Regidrago's not that powerful. So it deals with Entei, but then it struggles in the late game. Okay, how can we win this? If you're my opponent, what do? You should just sack both Pokemon here so you get a free switch in. Okay, we have Thunder Wave actually. That might be our out on Thundurus. But I have to position correctly to get it out, right? I mean, should I just go for the double KO here? I wish I had U-turn in this position. I went for Aqua Jet. But the thing is, now I've locked myself into Aqua Jet. I went for it, though, in case I got hit by a Scary Face, right? Yeah, so they're going to sack both Pokemon, but now they get their Max Mon in, and that's critical. And if I had U-turn, I can pivot out into Thundurus. Like, I wanted to basically... we outspeed Grimmsnarl, which is nice. Although, yeah, I mean, we knew that because of the hail damage. So, like, I pick up a double KO, but the thing is, like, I didn't need to Aqua Jet then, right? I could have just gone for Surging Strikes instead. Now you can just bring in Metagross, presumably. I have to switch the Urshifu out. I guess they don't know I'm Scarfed yet. Yeah, there's Metagross. I mean, the Metagross is the main problem this entire time, right? So my opponent did a really good job recognizing, hey, this is our main win condition. Let me just conserve it. Unless they get baited and go for a Max Quake here onto Incineroar. If you have Max Rockfall, you should always Max Rockfall in the Incin slot. Okay, I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to switch, and I'm going to go for Aqua Jet onto Metagross here. I should have gone Surging Strikes last turn, but I was nervous about Scary Face plus an attack from Entei. But, like, I don't even need to be that worried, because it's like, what's Entei really going to do? That's going to hit Urshifu anyway, right? So, yeah, Surging Strikes would have been better. Just for a little bit more damage here. But there is a slight chance. Oh, the Max Moltres. Well, this is interesting depending on what the Metagross went for. We could still win this, actually, because of... Oh, no, we can't Thunder Wave into Moltres. Never mind. Yeah, that's a really great max. Okay, they're going to Airstream, right? Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. Oh, into that slot, too. Even smarter, yeah, because that covers for the switch out. They probably doubled up onto that. Yeah. Because of Burn and Hail, we're going to faint, unfortunately. I wonder if we could have survived. Like, if my opponent didn't get the burn earlier, whether or not Thundurus would have had enough HP to survive this turn. I'm not sure. The burns definitely made it a lot harder for us, because this matchup already isn't easy to begin with, but it is what it is. Like, my opponent had a really, really good lead. And I didn't get enough usage out of my Dynamax in the end, unfortunately. I mean, if I stayed in there with Incineroar, I was going to faint to the Airstream plus Stomping, right? Yeah, I mean, now you just Airstream Urshifu, Stomping Incin. Just go Aqua Jet plus Flare Blitz. The one way we could win is, for some reason, the Metagross does not target Incineroar with Stomping Tantrum this turn. And then we just somehow KO it. But even then, I think we needed to like stall out like one more turn of max, essentially. Yeah, so there's Airstream and Urshifu. I wonder if double Surging Strikes would have been enough to KO Metagross, because, yeah, it was a slight mistake to go for Aqua Jet over Strikes. Yeah, also kind of ambitious to think I would KO the Grimmsnarl turn 1. I'm assuming it's policy Metagross though, which is why, like, even if I... Wow, that just... Oh, right, because, yeah, Thunder switched in last turn. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like, I wonder if Life Orb Max Lightning would have KO'd Entei on turn 1. I don't really think so. So, like, if I were to replay this, like, given what my opponent brought, Incineroar plus Grimmsnarl... Oh, sorry, Incineroar plus Urshifu actually would have been a really nice lead, because it's a free fake out into Surging Strikes into Entei. My opponent's only real switch-in into Surging Strikes was Kartana. I don't know how much they really want to bring Kartana against the team comp that we have here. So, this was more, this was like already a tough matchup, and then my lead wasn't very good either. So, I had a better lead in Incineroar Urshifu. Maybe then we go Thundurus plus Ninetales in the back, and that gives us more comeback potential. Because, like, I didn't get enough usage out of my Dynamax in the Thundurus, and then my opponent was able to basically stall out my max and have 3 full turns of their max after our max was over. And so they played the early game super well, and that led to them being in a super good position for the late game. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Metagross alone already isn't super easy, and then, like, yeah, the Entei I, like, didn't anticipate as a lead, and it was a really good option by my opponent, so, yeah. But I think Incineroar Urshifu, if we, like, switched up the leads there, could have definitely offered us a bit more. Yeah, and Sin Thundurus can work against some of their leads, but it just forced me to Dynamax turn 1. You don't want to be in a position to, be forced to Dynamax just to deal with your opponent defensively, so, yeah. Alright. Third match of the day. Wow, another Entei. Durant. Pheromosa. Thundurus, Tornadus. Okay. Well, I feel like I should just try to set up Trick Room if I can, but maybe it's not that easy. But we have Mentor on Comfy. So, like, what's stopping me from going Incineroar plus Comfy? Regidrago should sweep under Trick Room. And then Ninetales. The other interesting thing is that Thundurus does have Thunder Wave, but my opponent's Tornadus should have Tailwind, obviously. So, yeah. Really cool team. If they didn't have Tornadus, I'd honestly consider going with the faster mode of our team. But my opponent's team is really frail. And, like, Regidrago under Trick Room will one-shot practically everything. Their main max threats are going to be Thundurus, Durant, and Moltres. Primarily Durant is what I'm looking at. So Durant lead would be really interesting here. But if you lead Durant, I would probably just max Incineroar just to max Flare Durant, because Durant would probably max to try to KO Comfy, so then we could just switch out Comfy. And the max also just cover... Like, Fire-type damage in general actually is really good into my opponent's team comp too, if you look at what they brought. I just feel like we haven't actually set up Trick Room once in our time with this team, but I think in this game it makes a lot of sense. Because they're super, super aggressive and super fast. So, yeah, the idea is to try to just fake out Trick Room turn 1 and then go from there. And the Mentor helps because normally your answer against Trick Room is going to be Taunt from Tornadus. Or Durant, but Incineroar can deal with Durant. It's going to be Thundurus plus Entei. I just activated Defiant. I didn't even think about that. That's a problem. That is certainly going to be a problem. Because they're just probably going to max Airstream Comfy. Wow. This was a really good lead by them. Comfy Drago would have crushed it here. Alright, we have to improvise then. Man. I don't know why I got baited into, like, I know why I got baited into bringing Incin here as a lead, but yeah, this is not good. We're probably gonna get hit by an Airstream onto Comfy, right? I think I kind of feel forced to go for this. Helping Hand, Max Flare into Thundurus. Yeah, their team did a really good job baiting me into bringing Incin. I guess I could have just gone Drago plus Comfy in this one, I think. Yeah, I definitely... Like, it's really risky to ever lead Incineroar into a potential Defiant Thundurus user, and I feel like because I was using this team, I, like, just kind of forgot about the fact that Thundurus would probably be Defiant here. And if I got with Comfy Drago, +2 Max Wormwind can one-shot even Assault Vest Thundurus. So I could have just gone Comfy Drago, Draining Kiss, Wormwind, turn 1. So now I feel forced to max Incineroar. Maybe I could have clicked Trick Room anyway in case they get greedy and like Airstream or Knuckle into the Entei slot instead. But this is just a burst of guaranteed damage. Oh, it's Scarf Entei, isn't it? Okay, that's interesting. They're gonna Airstream. Yeah. If I had Protect, I'm confident I could have gone for it, but obviously I don't in this position. See how much Flare does. I'm hoping it's a 2-hit KO. I mean, we set up the Sun, so it should be a 2-hit KO into Thundurus. They're not Life Orb, so it should be Assault Vest if I had to guess. Ooh, that almost KO'd. Okay, but we still can't... Like, Thundurus will get another max move off, and that's the problem. Okay, let's think about this, because this is still far from over. Like, yes, turn 1 wasn't great, but, like, we're still fine. I think I'd bring out Drago, right? Because if I bring out Ninetales... Well, what do they have in the back? Durant? Tornadus? Man, what else do they have? I think it's correct to bring out Regidrago here, because if we bring out Ninetales, we just risk losing our Sash, right? They could just double up into that slot, so I'll bring out Drago. It's just that protecting on Drago here is, like, entirely so obvious. So we're protecting Regidrago here. I think I'm still gonna go for it. Max Lightning, Max Darkness. Okay. Yeah, I'll go Max Darkness and Protect here. I mean, even if they double up onto Incineroar, we get a special defense drop. Okay, they Sacred Fire into Drago. That's a good start. Probably Knuckle into Incin. Yeah. I think a Sacred Fire actually does like a sizable amount of damage in Sun and with this attack boost. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure it's Scarfed, given that I outsped Thundurus. I hope this KOs. This would be really bad if it did, but yeah, okay. Okay. So now what? Got a special defense drop there. Dragon Energy is just going to be so weak, though. We have Ninetales in the late game, but Ninetales will only work if we KO Entei. So we need to knock out Entei this turn, essentially. Ah, they have Pheromosa. That's also not good for us. I wish we had any other Dragon-type attack right now. That would actually be really good for us, but now I'm just going to risk eating up the Sacred Fire in Sun, right? Could switch out into Ninetales here. Eat Close Combat. That honestly might be the play. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Ninetales here and go for Dragon Energy. I think I'm hoping to bait Close Combat into Incineroar and just Sacred Fire into the Regidrago slot. And like Sacred Fire will hurt, but you know, we at least get rid of the Sun, which is a big deal. That dramatically decreases your damage output. And then Pheromosa would faint from Dragon Energy plus Hail, I would think, especially with the drop from Close Combat. Okay, so there's Sacred Fire. Does a fair amount, 40%. Gets a burn too, that's not great. They had Triple Axle. Wait, but if they only get one hit, or even two... Oh, they only get one hit! They just activated our weakness policy! Well, this is gonna do a lot now. Oh my goodness. Wait, this actually came up in WBE, so does anyone know the answer to this question? Like, does Triple Axle with weakness policy only get one hit off? I don't know the answer to that question. Because that happened in WBE, I think, where I got hit by a Triple Axle and it procced my policy, and it was only one hit as well. But then, I think I read in the comment section, people were saying no, that, like, it still can roll up to 3 times. That's just such a unique, like, interaction I don't know the answer to at all. But, I mean, that wins us the game. Honestly, if they just close combated Regidrago there, they would have been better off, I think. But I can definitely understand why they wanted to go for triple axle, because if you get... actually, we might have survived a second hit, but 3 hits would have gotten the knockout. Okay, either way, Durant is their last one, so this should be a wrap. We can just go for foul play here onto it and Dragon Energy. Wow, so Regidrago came in the clutch, but in the most unexpected way. They also missed Rock Slide, unfortunately, but with Hustle on Durant, it's really, really hard to connect on every single attack, right? I think the correct play actually was to protect Ninetales there. Yeah, because that way I conserve my Focus Sash, and then I bring in Incineroar for Fake Out the subsequent turn. But yeah, we obviously had a lucky string of turns here. Yeah, I just don't know the triple axle interaction. Like, I think you can still roll up to 3 hits, but not 100% sure on that. So getting confirmation on that would be nice, but it's such a unique mechanic that... Oh, I guess I can just kind of test it, honestly. So maybe I'll do that after this because I'm curious. But yeah, either way, I mean, this was a good example of a game where like things don't go according to plan. I really botched the lead preview here. So what's my answer against Thundurus plus Entei? It would be just Regidrago plus the Comfy probably, and I would just go Self-Draining Kiss, Wormwind into Thundurus. The thing is, like, Thundurus can survive that, and then it's pretty scary if you don't pick up the knockout onto it, so then maybe I'd want to bring Urshifu in the back just for an Aqua Jet, because plus 2 Wormwind into an Aqua Jet should be enough to knock out Thundurus. But yeah, this is an example of a game, like, you're not always going to call the lead correctly every time, right? And so one of the things you have to do sometimes is improvise, come up with a new game plan on the spot. Is it going to work out all the time? No, right? But if you can at least like keep yourself flexible, like don't panic even if like the lead didn't go out well for you, because like, you know, I think like creating a brand new game plan often can get you back into the game. So yeah, either way, clutch that Regidrago hangs on, because yeah, even if like triple axle doesn't hit, like even if it just hits one more time, we just take so much more damage, right? Even if it doesn't knock us out, we basically do nothing in return with Dragon Energy. So Regidrago is able to clutch it out there. I think if we just got hit by close combat, we would have lost the game there, because there's no way Regidrago picks up the double KO in that position. So yeah, it was smart of my opponent to double up on the Drago there. I think I had to go for that play, though. Staying in with Incineroar doesn't accomplish anything for us. So yeah, either way, that was wild. But that's why, you know, you don't give up. So let's look for the last match of the day. Last match here, and okay, more Tailwind Hyper Offense stuff. Thundurus, Urshifu, Nihilego, Whimsicott, Spectrier, and Incineroar. I mean, Regidrago doesn't get hit by too much super effective damage here. T-Wave on Thundurus is pretty compelling. I have Scarf Urshifu. I think I'm just going to go Comfy Regidrago in this game. I mean, Thundurus doesn't make much sense offensively here, but could be valuable for T-Wave. That would basically be it. I think Ninetales. I want to bring in Urshifu because it's like my best answer against their Spectrier. Or sorry, Incineroar, not Urshifu. This one's, like, if they didn't have Tailwind, I think Urshifu's a clear brain, but with Tailwind, it's like, there's a very likely possibility they just get Tailwind up, and then Urshifu just gets outsped in one shot under Tailwind. But Incineroar really isn't that valuable for us either, so... I think I'm gonna go with Urshifu, especially because they have that Nihilego. Yeah, I mean, both this team and the last team were pretty similar in the sense that it felt like, oh, yeah, you know, if we just get Trick Room up, like, we'll be in great shape, but it's very hard to guarantee Trick Room up against... you know, these teams, because they're designed in a way that you can't just freely set up Trick Room, at least not with Incineroar plus Comfy. Oh, Spectre plus Nihilego. Okay. Man, are you gonna be Sash Spectrier? Because, like, the play I want to make here is just go Draining Kiss. I mean, they could Sludge Bomb us. Yeah, like... Draining Kiss here, Max, and just Wormwind into Spectrier. But if it's, like, Sash support Spectrier, this isn't good. Best case is their offensive Spectrier and they Max, just go for Phantasm turn 1, and then we just KO it. But I have no idea. Like, you know, support Spectrier, or sorry, offensive Spectrier with like Life Orb, super common throughout Series 7. Support Spectrier then picked up a little bit, Focus Sash with Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Ball, Snarl, for example. And so this could definitely be either. Because they even run like somewhat, well, not really, I guess. If you're offensive, you're going to want to run Mud Shot, Hyper Beam. Okay, they do max. I mean, hey, if they're Life Orb Spectrier... Okay, my other fear now is that Max Phantasm into +1 power of Meteor Beam, just like the double up KOs Regidrago. But that would be so risky. I feel like you can't just let Comfey be on the field instead of Trick Room. So if it's Life Orb Spectre and we trade turn 1, this is actually really good for us. So that's what I was hoping to see, given the lead, but I don't know. What's a better answer against this? Thundurus could T-Wave, that's basically it. Thundurus Urshifu, T-Wave Surging Strikes, maybe? Yeah, I'm just scared of Regidrago fainting here on turn 1 without even getting an attack off. Because if they made the read to just double up onto Regidrago, I'd be screwed, I think. And if they were, if they make that read, kudos to them, because that's a hard play to make, honestly. Okay. Yep, there's Max Phantasm. Okay, great. They target Comfey. Perfect. That alone means that we'll survive the turn, and I'm hoping they're Life Orb. Even if they're not Life Orb, I mean, we can bring in Ninetales, set up the Hail, or Urshifu, just Aqua Jet. Yeah, okay, they doubled up. Good. Nice. Now Nihilego gets a Beast Boost. I do have to be pretty scared about that. So what's the item on the Spectrier if it's not Life Orb? It's not Focus Sash either. Okay, good job, Regidrago. Wow. Okay, well this is a great start, because we can just bring in Urshifu now. They're forced to bring out Whimsicott, I think. Well, if I want to predict Whimsicott to come out here, I could just go into Ninetales instead. But with Urshifu, we could just Aqua Jet, right? We don't necessarily need a Surging Strikes in this position. Oh, they bring in Incineroar. Oh, that's actually not great. Because if I just brought Ninetales out here, I could protect the Ninetales, but... Now you could fake out Urshifu, like double up onto it. I mean, a Whirlwind should one-shot Nihilego, right? And I could see my opponent maybe, like, not doubling up onto Urshifu. Like, do I need Urshifu for the end game is the question. Can Ninetales basically beat whatever is in the back? The answer is yes, honestly. So for that reason, I'm actually just going to go Surging Strikes into Nihilego and go for Max Wormwood in this position. Because if Incineroar might choose not... Like, you might not double up on Urshifu in this position. Because Urshifu having Protect... unless you know the team. Okay, so they go for Meteor Beam, right, yeah. That's why I wanted to stay in here, because I didn't want to... Like, now I pressure with Surging Strikes next turn if you didn't Meteor Beam into Urshifu. Unless +2 Meteor Beam one-shots Nihilego here. Sorry, not Nihilego, Regidrago. Oh, we get a dodge, too. I don't think that KOs, but I'm going to do the calc, just... Because, I mean, that just ensures us the win, right? But if we needed that dodge, I needed to change how I played this game completely. Because I was under the assumption we would definitely survive. But today has definitely been a pretty lucky day. So Modest, Meteor Beam, into Regidrago, Dynamaxed. Okay, yeah, that's never a KO. That does 68.7% to 80.9%, even if you're Modest max at +2, with us even having no bulk. Oh, this Regidrago has special defensive bulk, I think, too, right? Yeah, 95, which is... For how many EVs? It's a lot, actually. Yeah, it's 196. Oh, so yeah, Meteor Beam only would have done 50.7 to 60% there. Okay, yeah. Because I was thinking, like, we were in a super good position. So, yeah, that validates it. And I think, yeah, given that their last one was Urshifu, we had this game locked up because we always had a guaranteed Surging Strikes into the Incineroar and just Wormwind into their Urshifu. So that was like a lucky Meteor Beam dodge, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game, right? It basically, I guess they could crit. Actually, even if they crit, though, it never KOs. Yeah, it never KOs, but we did have Draining Kiss damage on our end, so it would KO considering the Draining Kiss, I guess. They would need a higher roll too, though, because it does 76 to 89%. Okay, Incineroar hangs on, but at this point, Ninetales just wins the game with a single Blizzard. Yeah, Wicked Blow. So basically, if the miss didn't happen, we'd be in the same spot, just Regidrago would have fainted. But that's fine, right? Because I have Ninetales in the back, and Ninetales should be able to close out the game for me at this point. Because we outspeed the Urshifu, and Urshifu, I guess you'd close combat into Sucker Punch. Let's see, Incineroar just opted for Parting Shot too, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think this game was mainly won off the surprise of Regidrago turn 1, and of course dodging the Meteor Beam. As soon as the dodge comes out there, like, yeah, I mean, Meteor Beam unfortunately is such a good attack, like, but when you miss, it's just so critical, because like that's your one chance to strike, right? So yeah, I can just Raging Strikes here. Guess we can end things with a bang with Explosion. Ninetales always wins the game in the back anyway, so yeah. Like, the main thing was that we KO'd Spectrier turn 1. Like, I got exactly what I wanted to see, which was Spectrier max and us one-shotting it, because we just... It reminds me of the third game, or the second game that we lost today, right? In the sense that I didn't get any, like, usage out of my Dynamax past one turn. So, yeah. Like, from my opponent's perspective, what they could have actually done was just go for Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball with Spectrier, because that should be enough to KO the Comfey. Then they wouldn't have had to max, and then they could max the Nihilego. And Nihilego as a max option, I think, is actually pretty interesting, although we had Scarf Urshifu, so I guess they couldn't handle it super well. This also would have been a dramatically different game, I think, if Whimsicott came out from my opponent's end. Like, Incineroar didn't provide that much value, but Whimsicott would have been able to set up a Tailwind, and then with Tailwind, your Nihilego can actually outspeed everything on my side of the field. But because they didn't have Tailwind, like, the end game was actually not that bad for us, because we have a Ninetales with Focus Sash, and we have a Choice Scarf Urshifu, both which can outspeed everything on my opponent's team. So this was one in which, like, I was nervous about Whimsicott because of the Tailwind. I think Tailwind in general, that's also what scared me in that third game, right? I was like, oh, like, I really want to try to get up Trick Room. So yeah, but Regidrago was really, really clutch for us today. Definitely had some good fortune on our side with the triple Axel hitting once, and then of course the Meteor Beam dodge in this one. But I felt like we had a pretty good advantage in this one anyway, and I think we would have been able to secure the game one way or the other. But yeah, the miss just kind of ensured it for us. Either way, some really cool teams today, some really fun games. Glad Thundurus got to shine in that first one. I'm glad Regidrago could prove why it continues to be a really clutch Pokemon with this team. So that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. All right, peace.